G'day, welcome to Johnny Len Outdoors. Whether it's fishing, camping, or hunting, we've got you sorted. Hey guys, it's Johnny Len Outdoors again here. We're back in the forest again. It is super cold. I've got gloves on now. I've obviously got hand warmers inside the glove, which is a bit of a game changer. I'm not sure if you can see, but we got in last night. That's our camp there. There's 3 swags. My dad is still in his swag at the moment. It's just too cold for him. I don't blame him, to be honest. We're at the forest where I've got a few deer before, so hopefully we can get the job done. Jake hasn't got a deer yet, so hopefully we can get him onto his first deer. And yeah, stay tuned. So for this clip, I'll just have to do a voiceover because there was something wrong with the audio on the video file. Basically, I'll just give you a rundown of the first morning. We headed out from camp before sunrise, and then we got to the clearings as the sun was popping up. Didn't really see too much. It was quite misty and cold out there. So we just ended up turning it into a bit of a walk around. We saw some sign here and there, but nothing too spectacular. Alrighty, so we found a nice patch of native forest. There's kind of 2 systems of gullies, so there's one gully that runs that way, and then there's one gully that runs just over the top of the hill. We sat here for about 45 minutes, maybe half an hour, on this face of the hill, but then just before we left we went and checked out the gully on the other side, and that's a bit bigger and more open, so it looks to be a decent spot. We didn't see anything or hear anything though, but it still is pretty cold. A bit of cloud cover, so I don't know whether that has anything to do with it, but it's still a pretty cool spot to find. Back at camp after the morning hunt, I'll give you guys a little tour. We're just all running the swags this time. Pretty good. I've used the King's sleeping bag, the -5 degree one, last night, and I reckon it got well below 1 degree, and it was good. It kept me nice and warm, so I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah, we're all running the swags. We've got the nice campfire in the middle, keeping us nice and warm. Just having some breakfast after the hunt. Got some fancy sausages. We've got the master chef on there.
G'day, mate.
We got Scotty looking after the fire. So after lunch we went for another walk around. We eventually found this nice clearing here. Didn't produce anything on this day. It's not to say that it won't produce in the future. Looked quite promising. A nice vantage point that's available, and it gives you a good open view of the hill from the top, which is always a bonus. Finally got the beef stew up and running. It's looking okay. Did a time lapse of the preparation. Just got it here sitting on some coals. Bubbling away nice. Hopefully it comes out good. Not sure if you can see, but that's the finished stew. Delicious. Ended up being really good. It's probably one of the better stews I've had. Yeah, simple recipe and turned out really well in the camp oven. I'm happy with that. Got the fire going. It's pretty cold tonight, but the fire's finally starting to go well. We've the wood that we could find was pretty wet, so it's finally just starting to take now, which is good. So the next day from camp, I had to set out by myself. Poor Jakey had a case of the bubble belly. He was complaining of a sore belly, so I had to leave him in his swag and head out by myself. Here I am just going for another walk around, trying to check out some more clearings that we found on Google Earth before the hunt. Found some sign this time, a bit more than I had for the trip, but still nothing seen. It was probably just on 1 degree as I was heading out, so still very cold. So this brings us to the second hunt in this video. It's at a completely different location about 2 weeks later from the first hunt in the video. This is the hunt where I actually get a deer down, which is good, so stay tuned for that. You can see here that I've just perched myself up on the top of a clearing looking out. My idea for this one is to keep my movement as little as possible and just to do lots of glassing of the clearing, which you can see in the video, and it ends up producing, so stay tuned for that. I'll just show you this garment. I've always wanted to send this message, and I've never been able to yet since I've had the Garmin, which, like I said before, it's probably my 5th trip coming out today before I've got something, so I'm stoked to finally get the job done. But I'll talk more about that later. But so I'll just send a message to my wife and see how it goes. Anyway, this is, you can preload your messages before you come out. You can also like manually type them in, but I preload them so it makes it quicker. Quick pretext. I'll do a review on the Garmin later, but I think it's awesome. But anyway, so here's just my preloaded ones, but this is the one that I wanted to use for a while. So yeah, that's the one I'm going to use, and I'll send it now. Send, and then my wife will get that on her phone, as long as as well as GPS coordinates. So here I am, just walking up on the buck that I just shot. Took the shot, saw it drop through the scope straight away, which is always great. I gave it about 10 minutes or so before I started walking up to it. And then, as you can see here, this is the buck that I found, still laying in the exact spot where I saw it drop, which is always a good thing to know that they dropped straight away. And as you can see, the antlers aren't too bad, or half the antlers aren't too bad. Obviously it's taken a bit of a tumble, or through the rut it's knocked half its antlers off, which isn't a bad sign. It's a bit quirky, so I've got them hung up on my wall at the moment. And as always, all of the animal was used, and it actually produced some really good quality meat. And here's just a back leg that I've separated. like and subscribe.